Do a barrel roll!
Welcome to The Know, I am Mica.
I'm Kdin.
And today we are going to talk about something that is very exciting. It is the Spyro Remaster that just got announced, even though...
Super excited.
It has been leaked constantly, but finally, today...
Worst kept secret in the industry.
Exactly. The game's box art, release date, and some brand new screenshots have all leaked for the title this morning, which prompted Activision to finally just let all the dogs out of the pound and release the trailer. And it's scratched my nostalgia itch. I know it's scratched yours, and also Jeremy's, if you're on Twitter.
I think I heard Jeremy scream while he was on a plane to PAX from my house.
Crazy. So we've got a lot to say about Spyro. We're pretty big fans here, but we thought we'd, try this new roundtable format to recap the details and talk about other remasters we've seen this year, what we'd like to see, if it's possible that other remasters can get the same treatment, because this looks really well done. And it looks great, and I'm excited about it. So the box art this morning dropped courtesy of Amazon India.
Amazon India, of all places. India.
It includes Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon, which is my personal favorite.
You like Year of the Dragon
Year
best.
of the Dragon is my favorite of the trilogy. And it has been officially announced that it is launching on September 21st. Immediately following those leaks, we got more leaks of these gorgeous screenshots of remastered parts of the game, and Activision confirmed later this morning with a brand new trailer that is coming to PS4 and the Xbox One, so not a lot of those weird Crash rumors.
Noticeable absence. No Switch. No Switch.
Yeah.
But Crash is coming to Switch.
Crash is coming to Switch, so we can only hope. But as of right now...
Fingers crossed.
Contrary to popular reports, the game won't be a timed exclusive a la Crash, and it is only a $40 price tag. So, buy the game. I'm just saying.
Did you already pre-order it?
Can you?
Yeah,
well,
on
then
Amazon.
It
went up for pre-order, probably like an hour after the trailer went up.
Oh, well then.
And I pre-ordered it, so I was like, but.
After we finish with this roundtable here, I will be going to pre-order it. So now the remaster is confirmed, we can be sure that more are definitely on the way from other publishers, especially seeing the success of Shadow of the Colossus and Crash. Those were both like top-selling games on the charts for a few weeks.
It's easy for a lot of these companies to do it. I mean, there was the Ezio collection for
Oh
Assassin's Creed, which...
It looked so much better.
It was, as much as people made memes out of that one random person, the rest of the game is great, and that NPC was randomly generated anyway, so it doesn't really count.
Exactly. And seeing those side-by-sides of even... The Ezio's collection was a little bit more subtle than Spyro.
Yes, this is completely from the ground up, rebuilt, and I believe it's done by Toys for Bob, which is the people who've been doing Skylanders. And
I'm very happy, though, that they didn't do Skylanders Spyro, because he is ugly.
That was the one thing a lot of people were really worried about, is what does Spyro look like?
Exactly.
But with the fact that Crash looked like Crash, I wasn't really too concerned.
Right.
Especially considering that this is the original games, not like,
But Crash never got a Skylanders reboot.
Well, it did get like a couple like Xbox 360 games, and he looked really like he was like 90s edgy in the mid 2010s.
Yeah, but still was not as bad as Skylanders Spyro. No. So we are very thankful to be saved from that tragedy. And
evil has been defeated.
The evil has been defeated. And seeing how great this looks, we have a small list of more remasters that might be likely. The first one is Metal Gear Solid 1. So, as we have in notes, yes, the game has technically already been remade in 2004, but that was 14 years ago.
And it was on the GameCube.
Yeah, so we don't have the Metal Gear Solid HD collection.
No, we had, what was it? The HD collection that they released was...
It was made by Blue Point.
It was Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, and then one of the PSP games.
But one wasn't in it.
But one was absolutely absent, which is a very weird absence.
Right. However, Kojima's not with Konami anymore.
Right.
So, do you think we'll get...
I think it's an easy cash grab for Konami. They tend to be leaning towards the side of what's safe for them to do, and Metal Gear's, like, even though Metal Gear Survive was not really a Metal Gear game.
Right. It was not.
It got Metal Gear in the title, and a bunch of people bought it, and even though it got poor reviews, it's still pretty okay.
Right.
So, especially if it's something that's like, hey, here's a game that you already know that you like, with a nice fresh coat of paint, I think it's an easy cash grab for them.
Yeah.
It'd be silly for them not to.
Especially with the 20th anniversary being this year.
Yes. But will we get an announcement this year? Konami's kind of like notorious for doing whatever they want.
I mean, okay, so the question is, do you think Metal Gear Solid 6 or HD remastered first? Which one do you think would come first? I think that the remaster would come first because you don't have to let down fans. You're just giving us something
I wonder
that we have and it's remastered because Metal Gear without Kojima is gonna suck.
Yeah, I wonder
So-
if they do more than that, something a little bit easier that they wouldn't have to rebuild from the ground up. Do Metal Gear Solid 4.
Right.
And then just be like, look, here's a PS4, Xbox One version. Look, Xbox One players, now you can
play
get
too,
on
yeah.
it too and play Metal Gear Solid 4, which was it's like it already looked beautiful. You know, it's like a couple tweaks here and there. You know, maybe add a special edition, something that has something else in it, or it's like, oh, look, now backwards compatible is the HD collection, and if you
Right.
buy this, you get that as well, which would be, again, easy for them. I say easy, but
nothing's really easy.
nothing's really easy.
Right. Another one we have on the list is Dark Cloud. So Sony has shown that they're all kind of aboard the remake train. I mean, I'd say they have like 1 foot on the train, 1 foot off when it comes to remakes. But one of their biggest requested dormant properties is Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud 2 is definitely a fan favorite from the PS2 era. It's still kind of a popular game.
It's one of those kind of series that it's a very different kind of world building game with a plot, and it gets really dark and gritty and
it's like Dark Stardew.
yeah,
like-
I'd say that
Yeah.
it's like there's a little bit of action RPG in there as well.
Right.
So
It's like Animal Crossing night mode.
though it's one of those things that's like, would they just do one or would they have to do both to make it like viable for them to like put it together?
Well, I feel like it could be an HD collection. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of these remasters, when they have sequels, it wouldn't matter unless it was an HD remaster collection. I would hope that if Dark Cloud was going to do a remaster, it would be
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yes. And a little note here, it says it's worth noting that when Sony launched PS2 emulation on PS4, Dark Cloud 2 was among the first batch of games that they dropped on PSN. So it is possible that they were using the performance to see how well that sold to gauge it because, I mean, Sony has to listen. Like, if everybody's screaming for Dark Clouds 2 and then they released it in an emulator,
Yeah.
maybe that's like, okay, so we heard you, we're testing you out.
It's something that like I feel like, again, like you said, they have 1 foot on, 1 foot off of
Right.
that nostalgia train. It's
They
like,
don't want to hardcore commit, but they also don't want to knock any nostalgia lovers.
but I feel like Crash and Spyro are those softballs for them.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, now what do we do?
Right, and I feel like Shadow of the Colossus was their first breach into something that's not so childhood nostalgia.
Yes.
It's more of a complicated game. It's not just a platformer.
And Bluepoint did an amazing job.
An amazing job. And so I feel like with Spyro and Crash, it's like you got your 90s kids who played this growing up. And then with Shadow of the Colossus, it's like probably some adults discovered this game in adulthood. Obviously, lots of people played it in their childhoods as well.
course.
But it's more of a mixed game rather than just a nostalgia bomb. So I feel like maybe with Shadow doing so well, we can get things like
Dark Cloud and- yeah, of
and
course.
do you think they're more likely to remaster Dark Cloud series or just make a Dark Cloud 3?
Jeez. I feel like a lot of what they did with Crash is probably like the thing to do is grab that compilation, test the waters. If it sells well, I mean, they already said that it's like Crash isn't gone now.
Right.
Crash is back.
Right.
We wanted to tell you that it's like with this trilogy, Crash is back, and especially with how well it sold, Crash is absolutely going to come back in some sort of new capacity in that old style. So maybe, you know, they're doing the same thing with Spyro, and Dark Cloud could easily be another one of those ones where it's like, here's the first 2 games. If it sells well, Dark Cloud is back.
I would be happy with a new Spyro game.
I think so too. I
Yeah.
think there's just something about the revival of like the 3D platformers that Spyro is such a perfect like mixed bag of collectathon, but you don't need to do it all.
Right.
But there's, you know, it's like there's a completion bonus with extra levels and extra characters and all sorts of different things to do.
And there's also DS games that were not really, I'm sorry, not even DS, Game Boy. Game Boy games that I think can be remastered and explored or expanded upon.
I
for a new
mean,
Spyro game.
heck, they even had a Crash and Spyro team-up game.
I'd be ready for that.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. Now's the time to bring back Crash Team Racing, but also add Spyro. All right, here's one that I know that we're both excited about. Link's Awakening.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
There have been rumors about this for such a long time.
Yes. Like, Marcus Sellers was tweeting about it, and people have been talking about... Also, I feel like, I don't even know if it's rumors or if it's just people trying to manifest it, because... It would be...
If you talk about it enough, it'll come to life.
Exactly. I feel like Link's Awakening is one of the most logical next steps. We have Majora's Mask, HD. We have Ocarina of Time, HD. We just need Link's Awakening.
Wind
Waker.
Wind Waker.
We had Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
They've pretty much remade every Zelda game.
The only things that, like, I mean, it even leans towards what they were doing with the 3DS as far as Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds was such a spiritual successor to all of those single screen, like, adventure, handheld, portable Zelda games. Link's Awakening kind of fell through the cracks for a lot of Zelda fans. Not a lot of people have played it. But I think that with the new technology that we have now, a Switch, a DS, both
would be great.
Yeah, both would be great. We have the technology to make Link's Awakening a game that people can play and enjoy and understand why people played it.
I mean, even utilizing the same engine that they did for Link Between Worlds, it's one of those things that it's the next logical game for them to tackle. I mean, things like, you know, Oracle of Ages and Seasons were kind of they kind of like
Phantom Hourglass.
They're by the wayside of certain other things, but Link's Awakening was, I mean, it even got a Game Boy Color port.
Yeah.
Like soon after with Link's Awakening DX. So they've already remastered it.
Right.
So it's one of those things that it's sold well enough twice already with minor changes. I think it's something that could blow up.
Yeah, and I think that there are also a lot of Nintendo games that could take that treatment and continue, like, remaster it for the 3DS or for the Switch. Or take the old, like, Animal Crossing and, like, with the stupid hat. Like, I don't want all of the fancy features that we get now.
Just
I
a simple
want
one.
a simple Animal Crossing remastered.
Supposedly, GameCube emulation, just throw it up there.
That would be fine. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many Nintendo games.
So, Wind Waker HD looked fantastic.
Yes.
What if, same style, same thing, Super Mario Sunshine?
Oh my god. I would kill for a Super Mario Sunshine
just
remaster.
Water effects, just take care of everything, give it a nice fresh coat of paint, put it on the Switch, GIF.
Like, Super Mario 64 got remastered. If we had that remastered for the Switch.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to play as Yoshi, Wario. I mean, there's only one thing missing. There's only one thing missing.
Yeah.
You need Waluigi.
Yes. If we got that remastered for a third time, and and it also had all those mini games, like the casino mini games and stuff, that would be a perfect Switch game. Last one on the list that we have here is Crimson Skies. So I wasn't an Xbox kid.
Ashley has been talking about wanting Crimson Skies back.
She's been talking about it for
forever.
Ages. Exactly. And it's like, I know that this is the kind of thing when it comes to remasters that I know a lot of people, like I saw some people tweeting that they never played Spyro, but they'll play it now because it looks nice.
It looks nice, fresh coat of paint, looks great.
Exactly. I skipped the original Xbox because I was more of PlayStation, Nintendo. I hopped on the Xbox in the 360 era. So I missed a lot of classic Xbox games.
Crimson Skies was one of those original titles that really, like a lot of people latched onto. I mean, Halo's a staple. And with the fact that Microsoft is kind of, you know, trying to get back their player base from not just getting new players, but recapturing those old players. And they're seeing the success of stuff that Sony's been doing. And I mean, even they're seeing the success now that, you know, Crash is coming to Xbox and, you know, Spyro's even coming to Xbox.
Right.
With these, like, big banking on nostalgia moments, it might be time for them to, you know, revisit things. Not Blinks the Cat, but Crimson Skies is such a beloved, like, gem of the original Xbox.
Right.
And, again, I'd probably rank it up there with, you know, Halo as one of those things. It's like, when I think of the original Xbox, I think of probably, you know, it's like Halo, Crimson Skies, you know, Munch's Odyssey, and unfortunately Blinks the Cat was there, but, you know, we'll pretend
that didn't happen, right? Yeah, and Crimson Skies was one of the games that, when they were talking about original Xbox games coming to backwards compatibility, they really pushed hard, which doesn't necessarily mean there won't be a remaster. It just means you can play the original Crimson Skies.
Right. But again, this could be another one of those things where they're testing the waters with this re-release and then maybe another Crimson Skies game.
But it begs the question, would you rather, as someone who played it, would you rather have a remake of the original, or like, kind of like Super Mario Odyssey is a retelling of Mario? It's still the same game, it's still the same IP, it's just a totally new generation game. Like, it's new mechanics, new, like, taking new stuff from 2018 and moving forward. Would you want Crimson Skies to kind of update itself, or would you just want a prettier original?
I feel that Microsoft should probably be leaning towards new.
Yeah.
And
yes.
that's not a bad thing. And especially with the fact that, I mean, they're the only one right now that is heavily into backwards compatibility. I mean, I can play, I don't even need to have my Xbox 360 set up. I don't need my original Xbox set up as soon as they launch this. So I feel that I want new stuff, since they're allowing me to play and revisit all those old games without having to have anything else. And I mean, that's kind of what the Xbox One is all about. It's like, it's all here. You don't really need anything else. You don't need your 360 or your original Xbox anymore.
That's what the one means. You need
we're
one
all
Xbox.
Here. And I'd like them to do more things. I mean, it's like Halo 6 would be nice. You know, it's like a new Crimson Skies would be great.
Right.
And I feel that it's like, again, with backwards compatibility, I'd much prefer something new. But if they're just like, hey, here's the old Crimson Skies, but if you press this button, now it looks amazing, just like with the Halo 1 and 2 re-release, I'm all for that.
Right. I feel like you made the point about Xbox having everything in one place. It reminded me like how I had to go set up my PlayStation to play Spyro again. I feel that PlayStation can get away with giving us better graphics of the same game because we don't want to have to go plug in our PlayStation.
Exactly.
Xbox is kind of not shooting itself in its foot. It's just a different kind of marketing. They're giving us the old games on one system, but that just means that we expect new games because we have the access to the old games. Nintendo, I feel, is a mix of both. They have virtual consoles, but they also give us remastered and updated versions of our favorite IPs.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing like Neo Geo Classics,
Yeah.
which, great, that's fantastic. Where's Virtual Console?
Right. So,
but at the same time, Sony's leaning so far forward that they're just like, if we're just going to release something, it's going to be, you know, a remaster or a new thing. Where Xbox is, how about you just have the ability to play that old thing? And I think that's a great way to handle it.
Yeah.
Especially because it can show in downloads digitally exactly how many people are playing the game, how many people are downloading it, and it shows them how interactive they are with that particular IP.
And I think that for these big three, having pretty much the exact scale of pretty set in the past and future and present, looking towards the future in terms of Microsoft, Nintendo, PlayStation, they can all learn from each other. So hopefully when we continue with these remasters, they'll take pages from each other's books, and maybe we'll see a backwards compatibility library on PlayStation one day. Maybe we'll finally get the Virtual Console and the Switch.
Yes.
Maybe Xbox will finally give us some better remasters and sequels, and hopefully everybody will come together to give us our childhoods with better graphics so we don't have to suffer through polygonal bullshit.
It looks like how you remember it, even though it wasn't how you remember it
That
at
is
all.
the exact point. We thought that polygons were beautiful back then. Now let's actually update it to what we think.
Cloud Final Fantasy VII, his little model, and it's like, oh, he's so great with
cool.
with his Popeye arms.
Yeah, but now we're like, we want photorealistic,
fancy schmancy looking Final Fantasy VII remake Cloud. Give me the pretty boy.
Give me the pretty boy. All right, so that's us ranting about remasters and stuff. What do you guys think about the Spyro remaster? What do you want to see remastered? Do you finally want your Final Fantasy VII remaster? I know I do. I'm going to keep saying it till it happens.
It'll come out eventually.
It will come in eventually. So thanks for joining us for this new format. We will still be reworking this. We'll still be talking about this. Have a good day, everybody.
Bring him on! Yeah!